Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing swatches with you from the China Glaze Street Regal collection, which is their fall collection for this year 2017. I've had these swatched, if you watch my Instagram stories, for weeks now, and I kind of forgot that I didn't upload this video, so I am sorry it's going up a little bit later than expected as far as when I did my swatches, but it's here now. I did purchase these off Transdesign.com. They are available right now. I will link that in the description box below. I will also link my Instagram where we'll have more swatches of this collection. So there are 12 polishes here, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first polish is called Baroque N Royale, and this is a nice brick red cream polish. So here's our first coat of Baroque N Royale. This goes on so smooth, so easy. Spoiler alert, everything in this collection is just phenomenal. I mean, like, you're gonna think I'm just speaking out, but it's not. Everything is great. So anyway, this has a fantastic formula. Easy to use, easy to work with, not too thick, not too thin, doesn't want to run or pull or anything like that. And I feel like with these China Glaze brushes and these really nice formulas, you just get a perfect amount of nail polish on your brush as well. So here is the second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This one also dries very fast and very shiny, but not too fast that it like dries on you. I'll get to that later in this collection. I also wanted to note that I didn't have any kind of staining or anything with this polish. I will say that a few times in this collection because there are a lot that would be potential stainers, but not anything that actually stained. So there's 2 coats. The next polish is called Royal Pain in the Ascot, and this is a deeper red. It's more of an ox blood, and it does have like a wine colored shimmer running throughout it. So here's the first coat of Royal Pain in the Ascot, and I am just going to do 1 coat for this. This is completely opaque and it matches the color in the bottle, and it does cover my nail line entirely. Depending on your application, you may want 2 coats, but I really don't think it's necessary for this one. Once again, no staining here, dries fast, dries glossy. The shimmer in this one does stand out really, really nicely on your nail as well. Again, just a phenomenal formula. Very easy to work with. You do have to be mindful to do straight strokes to avoid brush strokes, but almost all of the brush strokes do go away as this one dries. So there is 2 coats. The next polish is called Accent Piece, and this is a like fall leaves orangey color, but it does have a lot of like a mustard undertone to it. It is looking a lot more orange on camera than it is in person, and it does have a yellow shimmer. So here's our first coat of Accent Piece. This one is a little bit sheer here on the first coat, so I am going to go in for a second coat. It does apply pretty evenly though. Really nice formula, fantastic, easy to work with. Doesn't want to run or pull or anything like that. The shimmer in this one also stands out really nicely on your nails. And it does look more orange on than it does in the bottle, but it looks more orange on your nail like it did in the bottle shot. But like if I'm just looking at the bottle, I feel like it looks more yellowy. Anyway, here's the second coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Again, it does dry fast and it does dry decently glossy. None of these are going to be difficult to remove either because they are shimmer as opposed to glitter. And I didn't have any brush stroking issues with this one either. So there is 2 coats. The next polish is called Truth is Gold, and this is a gold metallic polish. Here's our one and only coat of Truth is Gold. It's had a fantastic formula, easy to use, easy to work with. My only qualm with this one is that it is very brush strokey. Some of those do go away as it dries. A lot of them do stick around. So be mindful to do straight, even strokes, which is what I'm doing here. I'm going to manipulate the polish quite a bit, but it doesn't like pull off or anything like that. If the streaks bother you, if the brush strokes bother you, you can sponge your coat on or a coat over this coat. This dries extremely quick and pretty metallic-y, almost to like a chromey-ish-esque finish. So there is one coat. The next polish is called Baroque Jungle, and this is a deep teal polish, and it has a green shimmer running throughout it. So here's our one coat of Baroque Jungle. This one is completely opaque for me in one coat because I kept getting polish that would run down the stem of the nail, or I'm sorry, the brush stem. So it was completely opaque in one coat for me. If you wipe all of the polish off your brush, you may end up needing two coats, but this did apply really nice, really even, and it did match the color in the bottle, so I was very happy with application here on just one coat. It also dries very fast, very glossy, just like everything else in this collection. And considering how shimmery it is, I didn't have any issues with brush strokes. I also didn't have any issues with staining. The shimmer stands out really fantastic in this one. So there's one coat. The next polish is called Just a Little Embellishment, and this is a turquoise cream polish. It does dry to that matte finish that China Glaze tends to put one of in each collection. So here's one coat of Just a Little Embellishment. This is completely opaque in one coat. This one does dry to a matte finish, and it dries extremely quick, so you have to be very sure of your brush strokes. Otherwise, you may end up needing two coats just to smooth everything out. In my swatch photos, I am going to show it first with no top coat, how it dries naturally, and then second with a glossy top coat. I did want to note that this one smells a little funny, a little funky if you're sensitive to that smells. I very much so am, and it is noteworthy. So there is one coat, matte. Next up we have Born to Rule, and this is a royal blue cream. It is coming off a lot more purple on camera. It is actually very, very royal blue. So here's our first coat of Born to Rule. This one has a nice formula as well. It is the most sheer, obviously, of the collection so far. It does have more of a jelly-like consistency. It's a little bit on the thicker side because of that, but it's not thick by any kind of means. It's just thicker than like their creams. But it is very easy to work with and use, and it will dry extremely glossy. So there's our first coat. Here's our second coat of Born to Rule, and for me this one does cover completely in two coats. Depending on your application, you may want to go in for a third coat. I didn't have any kind of staining or anything with this polish either. Again, just really easy to use. So there is two coats. Next up we have Dawn of a New Reign, and this is a deep plum purple cream polish. So here is one coat of Dawn of a New Reign, and this one does cover completely in just one coat, like across the board. No matter how thick or thin you do your coats, this is a complete one coater. Phenomenal formula, easy to work with, easy to use, dries fast, dries glossy. I mean, this one is absolute perfection. I wish this was more of a color that I would wear often. I also wanted to note I had no staining with this one or anything of that sort. So there is one coat. Next up we have Glam Core, and this is a purple, and it's got a like magenta-y fuchsia shimmer running throughout it. And it also has like undertones of a dark gray. So here's our one and only coat of Glam Core. This one, like a couple of the other shimmers, depending on your application, you may want to go in for two coats, but it is completely opaque here in just one coat for me. I think the extra polish that runs down the stem of the brush helps distribute it evenly across the nail and makes it easy to make a one coater. So if you work in super thin coats, that's when you would need two coats. But the shimmer in this is really nice, no staining, dries fast, dries decently glossy, though I do recommend a top coat for longevity. So there is one coat. Next up we have Street Style Princess, and this is just a light concrete gray cream polish. So here's our first coat of Street Style Princess. And I'm not sure why I didn't edit that out, but that's also me catching a fuzzy. This one's nice on the first coat. It is a little bit patchy, so I am going to go in for a second coat, and I did receive a wonky brush on this one from Transdesign. I'm not holding it against the polish or anything like that. It's just something that I noted. So here is the second coat of Street Style Princess, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats. Dries very nicely and glossy and just really phenomenal. Easy to use, easy to work with. I mean, there's literally nothing else that I can say about this collection as a whole other than easy. And this is just a beautiful color as well. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Haute and Heavy, and this is a gunmetal gray metallic, and it does have a super strong lighter gray shimmer. So here's our one and only coat of Haute and Heavy, and just like the rest of the shimmers, depending on your application, you may want 2 coats, but it is completely opaque in just 1 coat for me. This is another one that you should be mindful of brush strokes on. Most of these ones do go away as it dries, but not all of them. Some of them do hang around. I didn't have any staining with this, anything like that. The shimmer stands out nice, dries fast, dries glossy. Everything that I've said about every polish in this collection so far. So there is 1 coat. And the last polish is called Throne and Shade, and this is a almondy-ish neutral cream color. So here's our first coat of Throne and Shade. And this is another one that I received a super wonky brush from Transdesign. I mean, it's not like a polish killer for me. It's just I do prefer to get as close to my sidewalls and pretty close to my cuticles as I can, and it makes it just a little bit more difficult to do so with a brush like this. But the formula itself is phenomenal. No running, no pulling, anything like that. Just a little patchy here on this first coat, but here is the second coat, and for such a light neutral color, this covers amazingly in 2 coats. This one also looks absolutely beautiful matte. It does dry fast, it does dry glossy, easy to work with, just a beautiful shade. So there's 2 coats. Picking a favorite from these was really difficult. There's a lot of 1-coaters, a lot of good polishes. Even the colors that weren't 1-coaters were beautiful colors, so it was really hard, but I think Rock N Royale is my favorite. I'm feeling these fall colors. I'm so ready for the fall colors. I'm ready for neons to be out and vampy shades to be in, and it's just, this is what I want in a polish right now. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this collection. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up. Let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.